right. So, hey, John. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Courtney, and we're here with John Faulk. And honestly, we are so excited for you, John, for being hired at BotKeeper and completing your pre-hire training. We want to be able to ask you a couple of questions and, of course, just congratulate you on making it this far for your new career. So, talk to us about how you found out about pre-hired.
Yeah. So I knew that I wanted to somehow get into the tech world, and I actually found the Career Karma app
Hmm.
and the website as well. And
Yep.
originally, I was going to try my hand at coding, and I took some practice courses, and um, I was like, okay, this is interesting.
Right.
I think I could do this. It really was just that I wanted to get into something that I knew had a lot of growth potential, wasn't going to go
Mhm.
anywhere, was pandemic proof, and
Very smart.
just something that was in my like wheelhouse. But at Career Karma, when I took the placement test, like they match you with schools, pre-hired actually came up as one, and I went ahead and just accepted all my matches. And so when it came time to get to pre-hired, I actually, I did the work to basically just get my name in there and show that I was interested. And
Mhm.
David Stewart actually called me, and it was weird. It was just like out of the blue, wasn't expecting it, and I had a great like 15-20 minute conversation with him. And I have nothing against coders. I have like all the respect in the world for them, because it
Absolutely.
takes it takes a lot of mental strength, a lot of focus, and just a lot of grit. A little different kind of grit than you need in sales to get through that. And so the reason that I really chose pre-hired was
Mhm.
David shared his story, told me of his success, and then the thing that really caught me was I obviously love to talk. I'm probably answering this question in way too long of a form, but he said,
Okay.
do you really want to be searching through 1,000 lines of code to figure out where a comma or a parenthesis or a bracket is missing? He said, because that is the unglorious side of coding
It
that they
is.
probably
It
don't
is.
tell you about. And right when he said that, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I need people. I need like interaction. I need to talk. I need to like have my energy come out this way. So
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
that conversation, that was what really sold me on it. And then I read a bunch of testimonials, a bunch of reviews, and just felt great about it. And David really like helped me like just walk that all the way in to taking the leap.
No, that's huge. That's huge. I love that you kind of got the experience from someone else. You know what I mean? Like he put it in perspective for you. So that's really, really good. And he's not lying about that too. I when I used to code, like I used to have to step away from my desk and then come back an hour later just to be able to, oh my God, I'm missing a bracket.
Yeah,
Just to make the
yeah.
code work. So I completely understand. So that's good. And I mean, you went through the program pretty quickly. So talk to me about like, did you have any doubts though going through the process? And if you did, how'd you overcome them?
Yeah. So for me, uh, I I was fortunate enough, with the pandemic and everything. I was driving for DoorDash, and that's how I was making my income. I was driving for Postmates and DoorDash.
Hmm.
But this pandemic was a blessing in disguise, because we applied for rent relief. We got it. We got like 4 months of our rent paid by LA County. And so what it
Awesome.
allowed me to do is not work anymore. And it allowed me to completely immerse myself in
Wow.
the pre-hired program. And the only doubts I really had were, I was spending 6 to 8 hours a day on the videos. But once I got to the coursework and really got to see what I was getting myself into, and the work
Hmm.
I was going to do, I started doubting myself, because I said, wow, I really built this up to be a lot more difficult than it really is. And so the doubts I started having were, I must have missed something. I had to have missed something. It cannot be this simple. It cannot be, like something that I just have a lot of self doubt. Like, you're not good
Yeah.
enough to actually do this. You're missing something.
Yeah.
And once I got to the end, and I did my mock cold calls with the other David Bollinger, my mentor, and really got to hear myself in action, and then just see that I had retained what I learned. That's what gave me the confidence. And that's what made me realize, like, look, like, you're just learning how to talk to people. You're learning how to solve people's problems or
Yes.
help them, recognize their challenges. And you're just walking them through that process. That's all it is, really. And I understand that with me, I make things so much bigger and so much more complex than they really are, and I overthink everything. And so it was just another great life lesson in that, and it's something that I'm going to take with me into my next, my next job, my next life journeys. Just just simplify things. Don't overthink them. Things are a lot more smooth than you probably initially think they're going to be. So give yourself a chance, I guess.
So you kind of had like a premeditated thought on what things would be like. And because you, within the course or within the pre-hire training, essentially you go through things and we actually have you practice it on like a Zoom call, like we're
Mm.
on now. And it's basically come full circle for you. So
Yes.
you've been able to say, you know what, because I can implement what I'm learning, I shouldn't have any hesitations about things. That
Yeah.
makes sense. That's really good. That's really good. I love that. Experiential learning is the best type of learning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it actually, yeah, it puts you in the situations that you're going to be in. And then once you see you can do it, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, I'm actually like a capable human being. Wow, this is
Yeah,
awesome.
look at that. Look
So,
so what'd you like the most or what'd you enjoy the most during the pre-hire program?
okay. So for one, I really liked how Josh just made, yes, it's called science-based sales, but I just really like how he was really candid in a lot of his videos, and he just seems like another person
Yeah,
you can learn from.
totally.
And he's, he
Totally.
there's humor, it's light, it's not this really serious, boring lecture for
Mhm.
one. And it's,
Agreed.
it's retainable. It's actually like, I'd be like juicing in the morning listening to some of the videos, like actually enjoying myself.
Nice.
And then I also really liked, and this is what I was telling all of my prospective jobs, like all my
Mhm,
interviewers. I was
mhm.
saying my favorite thing really was that in the career search, you're doing exactly what you're going to be like when you're prospecting in your job as a BDR and SDR. It's the same thing you're going to be doing, the same sequences, almost the identical emails you're going to be sending out, the identical outreach, the identical, touch points. And so it really gets you into this rhythm, and it really shows you this is going to be the job you're doing. It's just you're going to be selling their product instead of yourself.
Exactly.
That is
Exactly.
the beauty of it, in my opinion. That is like the genius behind pre-hired, and that's what made me really just catapult, my drive even further into just like, all right, I want to get this done. I want to do this. I want to
Yep.
apply to 100 jobs, and so that's the beauty of it for me.
Yeah, you practically did too, because you and I had an opportunity to work together, and you practically did apply to 100 jobs.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's just because exactly like what you said, we mirror the SDR process. In the SDR process, everyone knows you need to fill your pipeline.
Mm.
And if your goal is to be able to get the job at the end of the day, I have to fill my pipeline with applications. So I'm proud of you. You did a fantastic job, honestly. One of the last questions I would just say is, I guess, what advice would you give to someone else like yourself who is on the fence about joining pre-hired, who has reservations about it? Talk to us about what you would say your advice to them would be.
Yeah. So one, just don't overthink it, because that's definitely what I did.
Mhm.
And really talk to the pre-hired staff, like David Stewart, or anyone else who's kind of in the initial phases. Talk to
Yep.
them. Ask them their stories. Ask about their success. Ask them about their journey that took them to pre-hired. Go on LinkedIn, look in the pre-hired channels, and listen to people's success stories, and you'll understand, or you'll find that everyone started at the quote unquote bottom. Like everyone had a starting point. Nobody came in here a genius. Nobody came in here with like 10 or 20 years of sales experience and could just like
Exactly.
rock it from the beginning. Everybody has a starting point, and it just in a very short amount of time you'll see, one, you can do it.
Mhm.
Two, there's a lot of things you have to bring to the table. And three, you'll see how fast you go from quote unquote nothing to I've got a rock star job like that I never thought I could get. So just give yourself that chance.
I love that. I love that. Don't be afraid to take a chance on yourself and get all your questions answered. And I think that's good too because a lot of people don't realize when they're in the administration or admin process in the beginning and you're getting your questions answered, you don't have to just speak to that particular person. You can speak to other people. You can ask, what other interviews are there, something like this, someone else can watch and experience for themselves. So I think that's great that you used your resources wisely, even in the very beginning.
Uh,
Yeah, for sure. So as we wrap up, talk to me about BotKeeper. Talk to me about where you are right now in your new company and the job
yeah.
you landed.
Yeah. So I took a business development representative role at BotKeeper. And they use bots or automation, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to
Hmm.
basically automate a lot of the day-to-day tedious, repetitive tasks that accountants and or CPA firms have. And what it allows people to do, or accountants or CPA firms to do, is they could spend, their numbers are 50% more time actually advising and actually talking to their clients and helping them scale. That is the biggest thing. And so that's going to be my focus, is just like helping people believe that they can scale their business, and that with the help of bots and with the help of automation,
Hmm.
that'll take care of all the little remedial, tasks that are just like inputting numbers and making sure that
Okay.
a PO matches a spreadsheet. That's all stuff that a computer or a bot can do. Really, like, the human interaction is where you want to be, because that's where you can really help a business scale. That's where you can really just give more like human energy into someone, and really give them that human factor, rather than just being that behind the scenes bookkeeper. So I'm really excited
Exactly.
because I believe in the product, and I believe in that message and that mission statement. So I'm just really excited, and it's because of pre-hired that I'm in this situation now. Just after 2 months, it's amazing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that 60-day turnaround.
Yeah.
I love that. And it's really because of you, John. I love that you give your credit to pre-hired, but it's because of you. I saw how you work. You did the work for sure.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
thank you so much. Absolutely. It's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you. Congratulations on landing your career with BotKeeper. And don't be a stranger.
I will.